It's a really important question, and what you need is a really good clinical team foundation with the infrastructure to be able to care for people with cystic fibrosis. And then what you need is a really good R&I team to help support and the delivery and set up times for clinical trials. It's really important here at Nottingham. We've got the Biomedical Research Centre from the University of Nottingham, and the university and NUH collaboration together is really important to actually be successful in clinical trials. Well, our research recruitment numbers have increased exponentially in recent years, and that is down to a number of factors. First of all, having a really focused team here at the NUH, but also having a parallel of investigator-led studies, academic studies, and commercial trials. The Biomedical Research Unit has been really important in this as well, because that has bring funding in, both for the university that has gone in through to the trust as well. But also it's important about education in the team and actually getting the experience of the clinical trials delivery team and empowering them to feel the confidence to integrate into the team so we can actually do better in clinical trials. So our research is based on what the clinical priorities are for people with cystic fibrosis, and it's important that those two are aligned. So, for instance, one of the trials here we're doing at the minute is GRAMPUS, which is sponsored by the University of Nottingham, and it is a trial looking at gut symptoms in CF. And our research priority setting is showing that's a really key symptom that is problem people with CF are experiencing. We're also doing other trials which are really important from a commercial study of looking at early phase trials, and one of those is in genetic therapies in cystic fibrosis, and this is so. The key here about the partnership is that we have a cystic fibrosis chronic infection hub, which really has a lot of spokes if you look at in the spokes of a wheel. And it's important that we have got the clinical team involved, that we have got the research team involved, we've got the BRCs and the NIHR, we've got funding coming in from elsewhere and the infrastructure to support this. But really central to all of this is the people with cystic fibrosis themselves, and they're central to the hub and spoke model of actually being key to deliver it. And as though I'm standing up here, you'll see that this is actually a huge delivery team that has been involved, from everything from the clinical team to the research team to make this feasible. So in terms of the clinical trials that we perform in Nottingham, the paediatric team have really been important. This is led by Andrew Prail and Matt Hurley, and also we've had really lucky to have investment from the CF Trust in the Clinical Trials Accelerator platform, and this helps us combine the paediatrics and adults research teams, and this is led by Fawzia Nushahi, and that's fantastic that she's been involved and the whole delivery teams to get us to where we are in terms of clinical trials. So people with cystic fibrosis are living much longer and have a lot healthier lives, and the average expectancy of life for a person with cystic fibrosis today is now 64. But we know that there's a lot of research priorities that we don't have answered yet, and actually we had to do a James Lind Alliance refresh which looked at the research priorities, and that needed to be updated several years later because the research priorities had changed for people with cystic fibrosis. As the disease has evolved, there's other areas that we don't understand fully. Some of those are the mental health problems that are experienced, some of the gut symptoms, how do we diagnose this infection, and what do we do about the 10% of people who are not eligible for these new personalised therapies in cystic fibrosis. And so there's a lot of unanswered questions. The future here is really bright for clinical trials. There's a lot of different disease areas that are looked at, including anti-infectives, anti-inflammatories and gene therapy. And ourselves here at Nottingham and more wider at the CF Trust and the Clinical Trials Network are not going to stop until we can live a life unlimited by cystic fibrosis.